Extra special thanks to Cincy Music for co-hosting My Favorite Album is Terrible. For the best in what Cincinnati's amazing local music scene has to offer, be sure to follow them on Instagram at Cincy Music, that's Cincy with a Y, on Facebook at cincymusic.com, also Cincy with a Y, and on their official website, www.cincymusic.com. Here's the show. Hi. Welcome to another episode of My Favorite Album is Terrible. My name is Kent Mulcahy with the Cincinnati Public Library, and for the second week in a row, we are not going to be adhering to the stated purpose of the show, where we would usually talk about a misunderstood or maligned album. We're not going to do that for reasons that I'm very excited to share with you, that I will share with you in just a couple of seconds. But very quickly, just like in every other show, anything that we talk about tonight, any books, any music, basically anything that comes up, be sure to check the comments section. I will put links to where you can place holds on what we talk about for free with your Cincinnati Public Library card. Most of the music that comes up is going to be available to you through our streaming music services, Hoopla and Freegal. As I've said in every episode so far, I definitely don't pay for any streaming music services. Between Hoopla and Freegal and the amazing collection of music on, physical format that we have, including a really great selection of new vinyl releases. Between all of that, I definitely don't feel the need to pay for any streaming music services. So why are we not talking about a specific album tonight? Tonight, we are lucky enough to have Bryan Devendorf join us. Bryan Devendorf is the drummer of The National. Now, for a lot of folks, I would assume, in the Cincinnati area, the National may not need too much of an introduction. The National are a New York by way of Cincinnati band. They're a Grammy-winning band. In 2017, they won the Grammy for Best Alternative Music Album for their amazing record, Sleep Well, Beast. You might have seen Bryan perform with The National on a little show called Saturday Night Live. They've also been on Austin's City Limits. You may have heard them on soundtracks for TV shows like Game of Thrones, Bob's Burgers, Boardwalk Empire. Mr. Devendorf was raised in Cincinnati, just like all the other members of the National, and he graduated from Turpin High School in 1993. Just to tie it back to some more Cincinnati music lore, he was taught drums by Steve Earle, the original drummer of the Afghan Wigs. So tonight we're going to catch up with Bryan about his recently released solo record, his first solo album under the name Royal Green, which, by the way, with your library card, you can place a hold on the vinyl edition of Royal Green, and again, check the comments section for that. So right before we bring on Bryan, just really quickly, if you're enjoying what you're seeing tonight, give us a like, and very importantly, give us a share with any folks that you think might be interested in a music show that usually has some sort of Cincinnati tie-in to it. It'd be a big help to us, and we definitely appreciate that. All right, and with that, let's bring on Bryan Devendorf. All right, Bryan Devendorf, thank you so much for your time today. We definitely appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Kent. I appreciate your time as well.
Now, all right, so, just jumping right into it to be respectful of your time. So, I really want to talk a lot about Royal Green, your new solo album that came out this year. But just a couple of quick questions about the National. Now, it's my understanding, if I have the history right, a lot of people around here want to say, oh, the National, they're a Cincinnati band. And, you guys were, raised in Cincinnati. But it's my understanding a better descriptor would be, a Brooklyn by way of Cincinnati band. So I don't want to try to, pigeon you into being a Cincinnati band. But my question is, I'm assuming you started playing, cutting your teeth as the National, in the New York tri-state area. Do you happen to remember what your first or one of your earlier gigs as the National in Cincinnati was?
Oh, here. Oh, wow. I don't remember.
Probably by that time.
I know we played, I don't think we played any smaller shows here.
Really?
We played Columbus, Bernie's Basement.
Yeah.
Definitely played there. Oh, wait a second. No, we played the Comet.
The Comet, you did, as the National?
I'm pretty sure the National played the Comet.
Wow. I mean, would that have been like really, really early on?
It would have been, well, I mean, it probably would have been like 2001 or 2.
Okay.
Or 3. I feel like we played the Comet. I'm pretty sure.
Man, that is a small area to fit 5 people in, and with a lot of extra gear in there. I'm assuming for a show like that, you would have been the headliners even earlier in your career at that show, or
Possibly.
yeah,
Or no, it's
yeah,
lost to history. I have no idea.
fair. No,
It may not even happened,
I'll go back and double check that. I'll recheck
Okay.
the newspapers that we have archived here and ask about that. So the other, quick Cincinnati thing I wanted to ask you about. So, I don't want to say I was stalking you in preparation for this chat, but we'll call it researching. I'm a reference librarian, so let's say research. I was looking into the Cincinnati Enquirer archives that we have, by the way, using our Cincinnati Enquirer database that Cincinnati library card holders can use for free anywhere. So you all have the same stuff that I do. But I came across your earlier project, I guess it was the one right before the National, called Project NIM. And I was just wondering if you wanted to, say a little bit to people about what that project was like. And look how happy you guys look.
Top cats. Oh my gosh, babies. We were. Pictured there, the Cincinnati residents are on the right side of the image. That's Bryce Desner, myself, and then Aaron Desner. The singer is the female to Bryce's right. Her name is Jen Howard. And to Jen's right is David Milling, keyboardist. Not pictured is David's brother, Charles, who's also in the band. So it's another band with 2 sets of brothers, although I wasn't one of the sets of brothers. What else? I guess to understand that band, you'd have to go back in time to I guess it would have been the mid to late mid 90s,
Yeah.
It was we were involved in we were fusing 2 forms of music, really. Jam bands and 10,000 Maniacs. You know what I mean?
That is so funny that you say
But,
that, 10,000 Maniacs. That was great that you brought that up, because I also found this review of Project NIMS. I believe was that your second album? Maybe?
This was our third and final record.
Third and final record, okay. It says right at the beginning, and this is so reductive, it actually kind of irks me. It's basically saying modern rock bands of this era with a female lead voice either sound like Sarah McLachlan or Natalie Merchant era 10,000 Maniacs. I don't know.
But we have a bit more edge than the Maniacs, according to this writer. So that's
yes, a bit.
That's
There's
cool.
some feedback and guitar noise. I don't know if they meant that as an insult or not, but I sure don't take that as such, because I think "Fumbling Towards Ecstasy" by Sarah McLachlan is still a killer record, and I'm sure I still have my MTV Unplugged 10,000 Maniacs somewhere in my collection. So. Just thought that was interesting. I found a bunch of gigs for you guys playing around the York Street Cafe and places like that. But you guys, you went out of Cincinnati quite a bit in Project NIM, right? Or was it more of a local thing?
Well, we were not even living here at the time. I was in Cleveland. Aaron and Bryce were on the East Coast, and eventually everyone moved to New York City. But yeah, we were we operated out of New Orleans in the summers.
Okay.
Where the 2 other brothers and Jen were from. And then in the fall during school, we would play shows in New York City and Connecticut. I would drive from Cleveland,
Yeah.
all the way out.
Just thought I was interested in tracing the lineage there.
Oh yeah, but I guess to understand that band, you got to understand. Before that, I was in a high school band with Aaron and Bryce called Equinox.
Right.
Which is very much a jam band. We had another member named Kevin Seal, and we played a lot of house parties on the sort of country day, controlled substances circuit, if you will.
Yeah.
A lot of legendary shows.
I found
and then
some
out of that band grew this Project NIM kind of thing. So
I found a few references to Equinox in the Enquirer as I was looking it up. I don't know if I'm getting this wrong. I thought maybe there was something about a talent show or
sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Yeah. I would kill to have heard
high school
some
dances, stuff like that.
Perfect. Amazing. All right, so thanks for humoring me through all of that. Now I was going to ask about your Royal Green album that just came out this year. It's kind of your solo project. And what I would tell folks watching this there's a really great write-up and interview that the Inquirer did with Bryan. I believe it was in September. So you can go and look that for some of the larger points about the Royal Green Project, and I'll put links to that in the comments section tonight. But so Bryan, what I was going to ask you though, just a little bit of an introduction to it, for someone who hasn't heard it yet, or maybe even a national fan who hasn't heard anything, what would you say to someone who's about to push play on your album to get them ready for it?
I would just say thanks for checking it out. I don't know. I mean, like, there's no drumming.
Right.
It's all drum machines. I'm singing. Get ready for some kind of like high-voiced mellowness, I guess. Several covers.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a easy breezy, just chill kind of thing.
Yeah, I was reading a lot of descriptions about it before I, got my hands on it to listen to it. And, I was seeing like experimental, and it's definitely that. There are experimental sections. It's not a pop record. But when I finally hit play on it, I was like, this is very, very listenable. It's, some great harmonies, great melodies. I really, really, really like it. But I wanted to move on to a different thing about the album. So I don't know when we're going to put this up for people to watch on the library site, but we're recording this chat in November at the end of the year. So, by the end of the year, the discussion turns to albums of the year, what are the best albums of the year? And one thing I always like to discuss is what's the best album cover of the year? And, for what my opinion is worth, I've got to say that the cover for your album has to be just one of the best covers I've ever seen. So I didn't know if you wanted to talk about this a little bit more.
Well, thank you. That's very nice. That's a painting done by an artist named Nancy Hollinghurst. She's based in Brooklyn. She's a wonderful oil painter and person as well. It's based on a photo we took. That's Nate Martinez,
right,
on the right in the red shirt with the guitar. He and I kind of formed the core of the band Royal Green. But this was taken. It's based on a photo taken in somewhere in the French countryside, probably in 2006-ish. Nate was filling in for Bryce, who couldn't make that tour, so we were driving and saw this. To my right, there's a giant lake, so we went swimming in this big lake. We were hanging out by this old, I guess you'd call it a chateau. So yeah, there's an actual photo that looks very similar to this, and then Nancy,
wow,
turned it into a piece of art. And then this is actually a photograph of the painting, and sitting on a piece of what's that called, polar fleece, I guess.
I love it. I think it's great.
Well,
have you seen Royal Tenenbaums?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Yeah.
I do too. And I've got to say that it kind of reminds me, there's that scene where they're in Eli Cash, played by Owen Wilson's house, and you see these paintings in the background of like these guys on four-wheelers in masks, and clearly yours isn't that outlandish, but there's just, it gave me that vibe. I don't know.
Like fine art with this sort of comic or off-kilterness, yeah.
So, I mean, in the photo, he actually has his guitar with him.
Oh no, he's practicing guitar on the beach, and I'm just back from a swim. I think my brother took the picture. He's like, "Hey guys, take a picture." So that's how he posed. That's an actual, based on an actual image.
I love it. And there's this minor detail. I looked at it for a while, and I'm like, he had his hand up like he's playing guitar, and I was like, oh, he's just his pick holding pose. But then I looked closely, and I thought, oh, he's giving the thumbs up, and no, he's just like pointing at the house in the background. I just, man, really,
like it's our
really.
house. This is where we live.
It is now. We're claiming it. So as you mentioned, there are covers. There are 8 songs on the Royal Green record, and 3 of them are covers, I believe. And
maybe more.
I guess there's that one that's kind of the lost national song in a way.
Oh well, there's more. There's actually most of the songs that aren't covers are all unused national lyrics by Matt.
Oh, okay.
Except for track 1. That's an original. all original.
Hmm.
But yeah, track two's a cover. Track
Hmm.
three's they're all covers after track one in one way or another.
Well, I was going to highlight the covers that you did. You did Baby You're a Rich Man Now by Beatles. You did, why is it not, the Bob Dylan
Dreams.
song,
Oh, if not for
If Not
you.
For You, and then Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. And I read in the Inquirer interview that, most of this stuff was recorded 20 years ago.
Mhm.
So was that the same for the covers?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, the singing, all my stuff. Nate and Josh added stuff more recently.
Okay. Yes. Perfect.
Mhm.
So if you were doing a new Royal Green album now,
Mhm.
what would your three covers be? You picked really well-known covers, which is such a gutsy choice to put out there. What would your covers be in
Well,
2020 recording a new album?
funny you should ask. I'm actually working conceptually on a few. I don't think I have three though. Do you know a song called "Eyes Without a Face" by Billy Idol?
Oh, I don't know that one. No.
I'm working on that one. It has a terrible bridge that I think I'm gonna have to keep out.
Well,
It's like dun 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 dun. LA, it's so stupid,
play the
but
role of the
beautiful
editor.
song. Um, um, so yeah, Eyes Without a Face I've considered, and the other ones, um, I've wanted to do "Lot of Love" by Neil Young,
Yeah.
but that might be a little too. I don't know. I'm not able to do that one justice. And then I don't think I could pull this off, but I was considering "Crimson and Clover" by Tommy James and the Shondells. It's the famous song. I don't know.
No, I think you should go for it. I think you
Okay,
should go for it.
so there's
Now,
three.
if you were going to do the Billy Idol song, would you kind of keep with the kind of the overall vibe of the first record, or are you going to maybe add a little more distortion, a little more like aggression type stuff on it, or?
No, it would be pretty much the same thing.
No, that's
Or
perfect. And that,
same formula. I'd go for like a nylon string guitar with a drum machine and get my buddies to play bass and stuff on it.
that's good to hear because I was going to comment specifically about the Bob Dylan cover, If Not For You, and really about all your covers. I think when people tend to do covers, I think there's three ways you can do them, and two of the ways often don't come across okay. You either do it exactly the same, and it's kind of like, what's the point? Or you do it so differently that it's basically original music using someone else's lyrics.
Hmm.
And I think your covers, like, I saw oh, you're going to do If Not For You, and then it gets started, and I'm like, well, I've heard this song a million times,
Right.
but it sounds like a different song, but you've still got that warm hug familiarity of If Not For You that you've come to love. So I think it's a tricky balance that you just have nailed.
Oh, thank you. Just
So
completely by accident.
yeah, especially on the beginning to If Not For You, I just wanted to gush about one little part. There's like that almost like improvisatory sounding intro before If Not For You starts
Oh, right.
proper. And
Yeah.
the first time I pushed play on it, I was like, this is amazing. This is gonna, I love the way this is starting. And it gave me like vibes from maybe like a Bjork song from the Vespertine era with like all this like twinkly stuff and wishy-washy sounds. And then all of a sudden you hear a couple of chord strums. And then, like I say, it's like a hug of a song
Right.
you're so familiar with. So if anyone out there is watching, definitely listen to
Oh, thank
Royal
you.
Greens. It's just so good, so good. Sorry, had to gush about that a little bit. Now, so just to put you on the spot a little bit, I know I already asked you for covers that you're either working on or have considered doing. Are there any songs that have ever been in the back of your head where you're like, this is just, like, what's the one that would throw people for the loop the most? Like if you were National fans or Royal Green fans, like just like, I wouldn't have ever thought he would have chosen to do a song like that. Maybe like a guilty pleasure song?
Um. Well, this isn't a guilty pleasure song. There's a song I really like. It's called "The Makings of You" by Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, okay.
Um, do you know that song? I can't sing it right. I couldn't do it justice because his he has the most natural sounding like falsetto. I'm preaching to the choir, I guess.
Yeah.
So which I tried to aspire to. But the first line is like "add a little sugar," I can't sing it. I won't sing it.
Another quick question about kind of, I guess, musical tastes in a way. Before we move into kind of the wrap-up section of it. And I guess I'm trying to put you on the spot for a gotcha moment about national history. Back when you were a young band and you were still all piling into each other's cars, or maybe you had a single van that you would tour around in when you first started gigging.
It was two vehicles to begin with. It was
two vehicles to begin with. Okay.
Bryce's Chevy Blazer, and then they also inherited their mom's old station wagon.
That's
it was like Tig. It was like a mid '80s, like one of those Mercedes wagons. Like smells like you can smell. You almost like get knocked out from gas fumes. It's like it's awesome.
That sounds like how it is for a local band. That's exactly how we did it. So, whose turn to drive did you dread the most? Because whoever's driving tends to gets to pick the music. Well, of the five of you, who was the most notorious for, oh man, I don't want him to drive because of the music that they picked?
Well, we never had that problem. Only my brother and I ever drove.
Oh, so it
Because eventually we did get in a van, and he has great taste, and he's always has. So really, it's probably me would be the one to drive, because I would only play like Grateful Dead or like New Order or something,
Yeah, that's not terrible at all.
I would only play this. I basically I wouldn't have much variety.
Okay.
But I also I like talk radio too, like NPR, not like the other talk radio, So yeah, with All Things Considered or some Power, Corruption, and Lies.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Wait, wasn't there a reissue of that just came out this year?
Probably.
Power, Corruption, yeah.
Every year.
It's one of those things I filed away, and I don't think I ever followed up.
Oh, I think it was with tons of bonus tracks, right?
Right. Yeah. Big
double album, yeah.
Vinyl reissue thing. I guess I should look into that when we're done here. So yeah, just kind of headed to the wrap-up portion of this to let you go. So we, as I mentioned before, we're approaching the end of the year, and I know this is a big question. I'm not going to ask you, what's your pick for the best record of the year? So is there anything that came out in 2020 that you found yourself listening to more than anything else?
I am so out of it. I'm trying to think. There's individual tracks, but I mean, there's not a single record that I could name that came out this year that I got obsessed with.
Yeah. Is there a track?
I mean, there's previous records I've been obsessed with, for every year prior to this one.
It's been a weird
probably.
year.
But I mean, when did Destroyer's Kaput come out? Was that 2017, 2016? That was 2050.
Yeah, that was a little bit ago.
that was probably the number one record of the past 10 years for me.
Fair.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Sorry.
No worries.
Just been I'm a parent of young children too, so I listen to what they listen to, kind of, and then I listened in the car. I listened to a lot of, again, Grateful Dead, New Order, but got nothing.
Well, then that was what you just said. Actually, leads me to what my next question was potentially going to be, and now it definitely is. So, kids' music. What was the last song you listened to with your kids, or is it background noise at this point?
Here's the thing. They like video game music, so they're all about this. Do you know Toby Fox is? Is that his name?
I don't know.
Toby, it's this game called Undertale.
Okay, I've heard of this.
Apparently he does everything, so they love listening to Undertale music.
Okay, that's.
But what's the track I like the most of this year? What is this song called, man? I gotta get it right. I'm looking it up. Hang on. And again, I'm such a noob. I mean, is the title of this song Lemonade? Lemonade by Internet Money?
I'm so wow. Yeah.
Is that the title? The song is so catchy.
I will have to do my research on that then.
Or is it Internet Money by Lemonade? Is Lemonade the artist? Again, I'm such a middle-aged dad. Listen to kids music.
Exactly. I'm dreading when
the song is so catchy.
All right. Well, then, listeners, everyone watching out there, we all have our homework if we don't already know that one.
It's coming up on my YouTube right now. It's not coming up. There's that. What else has been really good? I know my daughter. She's 6. She loves this band called Middle Kids. You know this band?
I'm feeling so old right now.
Um,
No.
I think it was on XMU, so it's like an indie, artist. The song called "Are You For Me?"
Middle kids.
Are you
Okay.
for me? Like letter
R,
R
the
for
letter U.
you. Number 4
Clever.
for me. That song is cool. Just gonna a definitive answer.
Well, as you're looking, I'll tell, like, before we actually started the interview, I was sharing with Brian that one
Okay,
of my
Internet
kids.
Money is it's a collaborative thing.
Oh,
It's a record producer collective and record label co-founded by Taz Taylor and Nick Mira.
okay.
It was just like a medium for producers to sell beats, I guess.
All
That's
right.
Internet Money Records. So this is it called Lemonade? What is the song called? The song must be called Lemonade by Internet Money.
All right.
Anyway, I can't pull it up right now. My internet's out, ironically.
Fair enough. Yeah. Somehow we're still going here.
Leo's melody's so killer. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
You
it's
were saying something?
I was gonna say, I was just saying, like, I have to say, Brian and I were talking before we hit record on this, and I think one of the most played tracks this year for me is one of Brian's songs from his other band, Pfarmers, which is called "The Commune," and I will put a link to the comments
Thank you.
to everybody. It's just, it will be stuck in your head for days. I mean, and like you said, that one came out a while ago. That was 2016, I think, when Our Purim came out from your band, The Farmers, I think.
It was probably
Around
a
then.
bit before that, like 2012 or so.
Oh, wow, I am
I'm
way
not
off.
actually sure.
Well, I want to thank you for your time on this. There's plenty of places people
No, I
can
think
go
you're
to.
right. I think it was 2016. How is that possible?
Oh, for the Farmers record?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You're totally right. I just looked it up.
Yeah, because the first Farmers was 2015. But yeah, I mean, my kid fell in love with it just this year. So yeah, he thanks you very much for that contribution.
Oh man, it's so special.
So there's plenty of places, people can go to, learn about what the National may or may not be doing in the future. I've seen plenty of places where folks can look that up. What about your other stuff? You mentioned you're working on maybe some new solo stuff. Is there more? You have another project called Lansendorf. You have Pfarmers, as we've been talking about. Any new stuff on the way from any of those projects?
Funny you should ask. We did not plan this, but yes, Lansendorf has a new record coming out in January.
Okay.
We had an EP come out, I guess, a couple months ago, like
Mm-hmm.
a digital only thing that was called To a Lake, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just beautiful, kind of atmospheric instrumental stuff. And then the full LP comes out in January, and that was like it's just like a nice, easy cruiser, I would say.
All right. And I know, well, if I understand correctly, a lot of Lansendorf stuff is improvisational. Is that the case with the new one coming out as well?
It is. It was entirely improvised, but then those improvisations were turned into songs or organized and arranged by Ben Lands. We recorded, I think it was like 3 or 4 days down in Austin, Texas, at this studio called Public Hi-Fi. It's the drummer from Spoon, his place.
Oh, wow, okay.
Really,
Okay.
really great, awesome place. So we were just there for like 4 days, just playing nonstop. And we all left back home, and then Ben, over the course of the ensuing months, just organized the jams, into songs.
That's super exciting. I can't wait to hear that. So everybody,
Lansendorf 2
is that the title of the record?
is the title,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, it fits. It's
Roman
perfect.
numeral 2.
Numeral 2. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time chatting with us a little
Thank you,
bit. We
Ken.
really
It was awesome.
appreciate it here at the library. So, yeah. With that, I guess I'll let you get back to your day. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thanks again, man.
Thanks.
Later.
Thanks again so much to Bryan Devendorf for giving us some of his valuable time tonight. We really appreciate that. And also thanks to all of you guys who are watching. The library definitely appreciates you hanging out with us tonight. Be on the lookout 2 Thursdays from now for the next episode of My Favorite Album is Terrible. And also check the comment sections where we will do the big reveal of what album we will be discussing. Again, if you enjoyed tonight's show, give us a like and give us a share if you think other people would like to see it. Like I said in the beginning, we want to make this interactive, so the more the merrier, jumping in the comments and chatting along with us about this fantastic music. If you have suggestions for maybe some albums you would like to see us discuss, some albums that you think are great that just don't get the love they deserve, by all means put that in the comments section too. We would love to have your opinions. Make it onto this show. Check the comments for references and links to, for you to use your library card and check out all the stuff that we talked about tonight. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you 2 Thursdays from now at 8 o'clock. Thanks.